to take my sip of water. Let's get it. We go. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. You want to know some inspiration and juice? It is December the 23rd, right? Yeah, December the 23rd, 2022. And today the topic is seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Yo, it's my good home girl right there. Miss Michaela tuning in live, y'all. Look, Miss TTC Boutique herself. Hey girl, how you doing? Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Man, I was tired this morning when I woke up, man. Woke up at the sound of my alarm. But I pushed through. And here I am to give the juice this morning. Yesterday, not too much to report. I don't even remember what I did yesterday. Nothing of significance. I did check out some clothing items from TTC Boutique though, so that's one thing I did do. But yeah, outside of that, just family time, rest time, trying to finagle my funds, you know what I'm saying? Put a little here, put a little there. That's pretty much all I had going on yesterday. But this morning, hey, here I am to share the juice or share what I have studied this morning. I guess I would just pretty much say that the inspiration is my what I listened to with the prayer meditation, and it was talking all about Simon and the Simon that was waiting on basically waiting on Christ to be born. And so when he saw Christ, he was like, Lord, you good to take me now? Basically, I don't know if he prayed a prayer or whatever the case was, but he really wanted to see basically the baby Jesus. And so as soon as he saw the baby, he knew and was like, my heart is at peace. I'm good to die and all these different things. Again, y'all have to go deeper with that whole account. And that is what I put in the Go Deeper section for you guys to read that on your own about all of that. But the story itself and reflecting on this idea of seeing and whatnot, and knowing, seeing and knowing, that's what I started looking up verses around this morning. And that's where this inspiration has come from. And it's led me to an interesting place. So let's get going. So then let me share with you all some verses. So John 6:40 says, for this is the will of my Father, that everyone who looks on the Son and believes in him should have eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day. So, I mean, I guess, it's a part of God's plan for us to see, right? I think as I was writing this verse down, or at least reflecting on it or something like that, I think what kind of stood out to me is this idea of, again, it's not that the gentleman that we referring to, Simon, right? It's not that he had to see to know that it's like, I guess like this quote or like the title is saying, seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. So because Simon believed, soon as he saw, it was just confirmation to what he had already believed. But some of us are on the opposite, right? We need to see in order to believe, which is actually one of the things that made me go deeper as well. And I just kind of Googled seeing is believing, because you hear this phrase all the time. And that's what led me to what we're now talking about today, that seeing is not believing, which is, I guess, a more biblical way to look at that quote. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let me show y'all another verse. So John 3:3, it says, Jesus answered him, truly, truly I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So again, I'm feeling like this is reiterating this idea that you have to believe in order to see. And oh Lord, I feel like that's like proof of that all around me too. I mean, I'm more so focused on like biblical things and being like, okay, I'm seeing more as I believe, right? I believe that God is revealing more to me as I believe. Um, but yeah, even in life, man, it's like we focus on so much on what we see that when it comes to faith moves or things that will take faith for us to do, it's like we don't believe that those things are possible because we can't see it. So, I think I got at least one faith mover. I feel like Miss TTC Boutique herself is a faith mover, you know what I mean, out here, making faith moves with her businesses. I love the plural words. Well, yeah, and making faith moves and stuff like that. And me, I feel like, I try my best to make some faith moves and things out here as well, and encourage anybody, right, to do the same thing, especially if they have it in their heart and mind to do. I believe that those things are on our heart and mind to do because that's what God wants to do in us. He wants for us to achieve the goals and dreams that He has put on our heart and mind. And so some of those goals and dreams are going to take us to take a step of faith. I feel like, again, I tell this testimony all the time when it comes to GSL, but this first step of faith, doing what is now known as the juice, right? Your daily dose of inspiration, led to everything else you guys see that your girl has done. And it took that first one step of faith, and me not seeing or knowing any of this stuff was going to happen. Same thing with my relationship. Same thing. Listen, y'all already know. Y'all know how I was back in the day. I done shared the testimony. And if you don't know, go get the book. Cultivation period. Listen, your girl was down in Florida, living alone, and praying for husband and all this different stuff, and not seeing him nowhere around me. He wasn't. He was basically, by the time we met, I had moved back to Georgia, but I was in Florida at the time, so he literally was nowhere around me. But I had to walk by faith in what the Lord was showing me about my life and about I guess who He created me to be. I just posted the other day this picture of me and my son. I think Miss Michaela gave me some hearts. Thanks, sis. I'm just saying now. Yeah, I had posted this pictures of me and my son, and I just was like, becoming a mom, becoming a wife and a mom has like changed me for the better, I believe. Like, I feel like there's a lot more things that I'm paying attention to and becoming familiar with now that I'm a mom and things like that. Again, I believe becoming a wife kind of shifted my whole mindset when it came to like a lot of different things. Because again, for me and my husband was like confirmation. So it just amplified my faith like times 10 when I'm like, the Lord was really listening to me in Florida. He was really listening to me when I was just praying and all that type of stuff. And so I'm like, okay, so Lord, you can do this. Let me go ahead and put my career in your hands. And the next thing I know, my business is flourishing, and your girl's being booked all the way to Texas. And technically I'm international now. Michaela, I don't know if you know this. Technically I'm international now because I did a show the other day, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. And I did the show here in Douglasville, Georgia, but some people were tuning in Mexico virtually to my guests. They had their team tuning in or whatever, and that's in Mexico. And I'm like, that makes Miracle Plays international out here. Now, did I know that all of this was going to happen when I made faith moves to start my business? No, you know what I mean? But to God be the glory for, just believing, right? Believing before I see. I told you I ended up going deeper, right? So I ended up Googling, I think I might have Googled seeing is believing. And the interesting thing is it led me to this quote, seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. Now, again, I feel like that's just another one of those examples of things being the opposite of what the Bible is telling us. Because again, I don't know how many, I'm about to say how many times have y'all heard the phrase seeing is believing, right? I've heard this phrase so many times in life, and you think that that's the quote. But when I Googled it, I came across the topic title for today. And I was like, that's interesting. And then the interesting thing is one of the main quotes came from like a Christmas movie. It's called The Santa Claus. I guess it came out in 1994. And that was the quote in the movie, seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. And when I saw some little notes that was written about that, it said this right here. it says the meaning of that phrase is how we perceive the world is governed by our belief. Faith precedes sight. We know that phrase, we walk by faith, not by sight, and everything like that. Y'all got to go Google and see where it came from in the Bible, but I know it's biblical. It's in there. But yeah, I guess there was just like a spiritual quote in that movie and everything like that. And I guess after reading that this morning, I just was like, wow, again, I see a lot. Oh Lord, I see a lot of things that reiterates this idea that you believe, or basically your life. Let me say it right now. That phrase said that how we perceive the world is governed by how our beliefs, governed by our beliefs. And what I'm saying is, I feel like I'm seeing examples of that all around me. I'm in this group. I tell y'all about it all the time. It's called Let's Be Clear here on Facebook. And so shout out to Miss Denise, because she's the curator of that group and everything like that. And every now and then, they're always posting these different things that they see, and they have conversations and everything like that. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of little negative talk about marriage. And the interesting thing is, it's coming from men. Like I want to say last week, a man was like, "Oh, there's no benefit to marriage for men." And I'm sitting here thinking about, like, soon as I read that, I thought about something that my husband told me. I mean, he tells me all the time. He tells it, he says it repeatedly, so I can't just be like, "Oh, it was the other day." But one thing he says is, he's like, basically, there's a lot that he wouldn't have if it wasn't for me. Now, I'm not saying that he wouldn't have had I'm not saying that. That's what he has said. And I think he uses the house as an example because basically I knew the realtor that hooked us up with this house. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, he had the access to the loans and all that other stuff as well. So I can say the same thing. Hey, without you, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have a lot of what I have as well. And y'all wouldn't, all the things y'all see me doing is because he supports me and stuff like that. So, and is there to encourage and inspire me and everything. So yeah, it's equal in that aspect. And I truly, truly appreciate that. But that already negates this idea that, there aren't men that are benefited from marriage. I think anytime that we put the phrase all men or all this or all that, trying to say the representation of saying that there's a representation of all, means that you're wrong. Because again, that's already refuted, because just my husband's example has already refuted that quote. But no, like, everyone don't think the same. And so, although there may be a lot of men out there that don't think that there are benefits to being married and whatnot, and I know even yesterday or last night at some point I saw, like, I don't know if it was the same person, so they might just be bitter about relationships and whatnot. I don't know, but it was another man in the group, same group though, and they were like, posted this little video, and I guess it showed this process of somebody being married, and then I guess the woman leaving and all this different stuff, and it alluded that the man was working hard and she was nagging him. I don't know, and I'm not saying that stuff don't happen, because yes, I have acknowledged that I've seen things like this as well. But what I'm saying is, like, when we put out the narrative that all marriages are like this or that, it's just like, it's a false narrative to put out. And so I guess I share all of that to say that, again, if your worldview does not value marriage, then of course you're going to look at marriage, right, as probably a negative thing, or you don't see any value in it. Maybe you don't see any value in women, or vice versa. Maybe you don't see any value in men, or whatever the case is. And so, but that is all governed by your view. So just something to think about as we I guess figure out our morals and values in life and stuff like that. I mean, if you do have a cynical view of life and whatnot, then you might want to, shift your mind. And the Bible tells us that we can do that. We can renew our minds, y'all, out here and everything like that. There's another quote that I came across that kind of reiterated and went deeper about this idea of seeing is not believing, but believing is seeing. And it says, in the spiritual world, seeing comes prior to believing. But in the spiritual world, believing often precedes knowing. Just as faith precedes the miracle, believing can give us eyes to see and ears to hear, enabling us to understand and know. Man, again, I feel like, oh my God, my life is just really reflecting this in a lot of different ways. I feel like there's a lot of things again that I'm seeing and knowing because my eyes and ears are open to what the Lord is telling me, and because I believe and have faith in those things. And I'm not saying that people, that's another thing too. Believers, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of believers that are struggling with this as well, because I'm like, man, I do wonder sometimes. I'm like, are you really a believer if you doubt? I mean, but I'm like, okay, well, I know we all have doubts and fears, and we all have like questions. I get that part, but like not the aspect of like, I don't know, but I don't know. There's some of us that are doubting Thomases, right? We got to see to believe. We got to put our finger in, Jesus's hand in order to like believe that he rose again and all these different things. So, I mean, different type of people, and everything like that. But it's just something to think about this morning, y'all. I'm not going, I guess, beat the dead horse and everything like that. But, that's what I ended up studying this morning. And that's ultimately the juice. Let's change our mindset in regards to this. Seeing is not believing, right? Not in its totality. It's telling us here that believing is seeing, and that's the juice. That's the juice this morning. I see I got some quotes, but I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap this up, and then I'll get to the quotes momentarily. So thank you so much for tuning in and everything, but just let me wrap this up right quick. So the Bible verse of today is Isaiah 40:31. It says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. Am I going to talk to y'all on Christmas Eve? I'm gonna think about it. But we'll see. If I'm alive and well and bright out of bushy tail, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Oh, and yeah, just a reminder, I know that today is Friday, but no GSL talk show tonight. Nor will there be a GSL talk show next week either. GSL talk show will be back, if the Lord's will, in January. But all right, y'all, have a great Friday. Bye-bye. And so my Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, I see that people, I mean, look, I tell y'all all the time, I'm just surprised when anybody is tuning in live, because I'll be recording at all kind of random times. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you all for commenting and things like that. Here's a comment here. It's my homegirl, Michaela. She says, "You go, girl. Super proud of you." She's probably talking about that international thing, man. That's amazing. Like, does that count? Does that count as me being international if people tuned in virtually? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. So there's someone here, Ricky J. Frias, on YouTube, and it says, "The only one who sees the truth." It says, "Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. I enjoy listening to you." Thank you so much, Mr. Ricky. Thank you for tuning in and everything like that. I hope I said your the last name right. Frias, right? Yeah, did I say it? Hopefully I did. Let me see. Ricky J. Frias said something else here. It says, "The word is created in the image of God. Who can see it?" Good question. I mean, hey, the people in the biblical times were able to see it in the face of Christ, right? But yeah, in these days and times, honestly, it's within us. And so as we operate in it, right, then more the people will see. And so, but I think part of that problem is we don't believe that it's in us. But y'all can let me know what y'all think about that. Ricky J. Frias says, "The sheep are the unseen words become the shepherd, ma'am." I'm not sure in regards to that one, but perhaps there might be something to that. And then here, Mr. Ricky says, "I'll be there or here." I'm not sure again what that's in reference to, but I appreciate you tuning in, Mr. Ricky. I appreciate you commenting and everything like that. Again, I hope that you all received something today from the juice, and I thank you all for the commentary. My girl Michaela says, it definitely counts as international. Thank you, sis. Okay. All right. So look, I'm about to start saying the international miracle plays because I already, was counting national just because we went to Texas. And well, we've been to surrounding places of Georgia as well. But the fact that Texas is the farthest that I've gone to do a miracle play show, I was like, well, that counts as nationwide, right? But then now that these people have tuned into one of my shows virtually, I mean, international, you know what I'm saying? So thank you for that confirmation, Miss Michaela. Y'all gotta again go check out look, today's episode sponsored by TTC Boutique. Oh goodness. I might put your no, I think I might have used it yesterday though. I don't know, if you ever listen to the audio version of this, Michaela, but I mean I play your commercial that did you know you had a commercial? Did you know I made your audio commercial? I think I sent it to you. I can't remember. But yeah, I play it on there often as well. And so I hope that you are seeing orders and things like that. I believe that you guys can use the coupon code Miracle at her website as well. And yeah, I ordered something last week and got it. I opened it up yesterday. So yeah, man. Great service at T2C Boutique. But do I have anything to say? Oh, I was gonna tell y'all. Okay, well, this is for, I guess, VIP people that watch this thing live. Basically, I'm thinking tonight we might do Christmas movies and whatnot and order pizza and stuff like that. Me and my little family. On Christmas Eve is gonna be, I guess, a little busy day because with my family, we're supposed to be, with my side of the family, we're gonna have Christmas Eve brunch. Then with my husband's side of the family, we're supposed to be doing like Christmas cookie decorating and exchanging gifts with them. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to spend Christmas Day with my grandmother-in-law. So that's what this Christmas weekend is going to look like for me. Y'all let me know what y'all are doing. How is it going to look for y'all? She said, I remember that. Yes, I be playing the commercial all the time, sister. So like I said, hopefully you getting some orders and whatnot from there and stuff. I try my best, man. But I appreciate, again, your ongoing support of me and as well as just keeping me looking sharp out here, man. I'm like, she got me looking sassy out here in these streets, as they say. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing. Y'all know that we're trying to do a giveaway to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. If you didn't know that, there should be a link available somewhere around this video. And what am I going to be giving away? Well, we're going to be giving away bedroom rendezvous, y'all. We're giving away bedroom rendezvous. That's a little sneak peek of what's inside of that. And I believe that Romantic Blessings is also giving away a $25 gift card as well. So please help us get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year, because we are ultimately what the goal is, y'all. My husband, if this is you, Michaela, if you're still there, basically, my husband has challenged me. It's a challenge, but then it's also like, he's like, hey, tell your people, I'll come and be on the show finally, if you get to 1,000 subscribers. So I'm like, oh goodness. Well, it's a challenge, but I'm trying to, get y'all to see the Invisible Man. You're on the God Sex and Love channel. So, but first let's get to 500 and then we'll try to get to 1,000. So yep, that's what's going on around these parts. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, subscribing, sharing, all those wonderful things. I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. If not, then I guess I'll talk to y'all after Christmas. But yeah, that's what's going on. Hope y'all have a great Friday. And I look forward to talking to y'all next time, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Bye, Michaela. Thanks for tuning in, sis. I appreciate you.